Hello everyone. Many have asked for the second part of the manhwa to be reborn into Godzilla, that's it. Be sure to like, write a comment and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy your viewing. 1 week later. A lightweight version of explosive breathing turned out to be very useful. With its help, Shen learned how to fry his own food. Right now he was sitting and frying a piece of beef. Having started the meal, he decided to log in. Entry point. At the sea part of Guyuan Island. Entry reward. Level A skill. Atomic breathing. Atomic respiration is an unstable gas produced by a radioactive capsule in a brontosaurus that reacts with air, which leads to the eruption of a flame similar to fog. Ha! Am I really like a European emperor? The system informed that 2 days ago it was possible to get an update on the compass ability, and yesterday on the spiked armor ability. While the huge and majestic Godzilla was enjoying his meal, a red mouse ran up to him, and the system informed. Giant prehistoric rat. Body length 3-4 meters, weight 3-4 tons. Keen sense of smell, picky about food, prefer to hide in the grass to hunt rabbits. Mandarin. How are you on time? Here you go, it's beef today. With these words, Shen threw a piece of meat to the mouse, and they continued the feast together. The mouse reminded Shen of his past life, when he was an ordinary guy. At that time he was thin and small, and everyone bullied him. You're luckier than me, because you met me. From now on I'll be your boss, and no one will dare to touch you. System hint. Current characteristics. Host. Lin Shen. Race. Kui, Thunder Dragon. Form. In the process of development. Bloodline. Lord, with the possibility of improvement. Height. 51 meters. Weight. 255 tons. After voicing these characteristics by the system, Shen thought, with this size, can I take down a gorilla? It's boring to be alone on a desert island. I should find a monster who will keep me company. System, I need evolution points. At the moment, the host has a total of 48,131 evolution points, the system responded. I consume evolution points to improve my body shape. There is a process of improvement. Ding dong process. Are you serious? By 0.5 meters, damn it, 40,000 evolution points increased me by 0.5 meters? The system may have some kind of error? Don, have you played RPG games? Don't you know that the higher your level, the more points you need to increase it? Shen started to get angry. Damn, if I want to become a 100-meter giant, how many years do you think I'll spend on evolution? But quickly calmed down and decided that it didn't matter, he would immediately go to the gorilla. We'll fill her up, and will mark the beginning of their relationship. With these thoughts, he picked up a piece of gray wool from the ground and threw it to the Mandarin. Hey, it's time to work a little, not just eat and drink with me. I tore this hair from the gorilla in our last fight, did its smell remain? Pipipi? Replied the giant hand mouse. Great. Then help me find her. If you help, steaks will be provided for you for a whole year. The Mandarin's muzzle just shone with happiness, and drool flowed from her mouth. It seemed that you could even see the same meat in her eyes. Having concluded such a mutually beneficial deal, they went hunting. On this occasion, all the local fauna threw a party with the slogan, "Farewell to the god of the plague, and never come back." Went on for quite a long time. The terrain changed from a green and pleasant forest to a gray and dead desert. The skulls of dead animals were scattered here and there was not a single leaf on the bushes. It doesn't look like a gorilla's house, Mandarin, did you turn the wrong way? While the dragon was looking around, the mouse was shaking with fear and tried to show him towards a huge hole in the rock, from which strange sounds were coming. Are you sure? Pipipi. Well, then let's go in and check it out. With these words, the dragon headed into the cave, taking with him a red trifle, which the latter was clearly not happy about. You're shaking so much. Don't be afraid, the boss will cover for you. Entering the cave, Shen looked around. In addition to the standard musty smell, part of the cave was filled with greenish fog, and the walls were all in green slime. The ceiling was supported by columns of natural origin, a web was woven between some of them. It's strange the presence of monsters is not felt. Suddenly, the roar of a monster was heard. Shen determined that it was not a very strong monster and decided that he needed to go quietly to see. After walking along the corridor of the cave, the amount of slime and cobwebs increased, and when he went around the next corner, Shen saw a huge number of cocoons suspended from the ceiling. Slime was everywhere. The floor was filled with skulls and skeletons of animals, as well as hatched and whole eggs of various sizes. Is this the spider's lair? Shen was looking around the room when suddenly something caught his eye. This ding-dong barbarian gorilla, ancestry of the ancient evil monster Aozhu, length 45 meters, weight 135 tons. However, there was a man hanging in front of the dragon, glued to the wall with a layer of cobwebs. It was a girl. Shen's heart beat faster when he looked at her. The incredible beauty and body shape of the girl was desperately trying to get out of the web and was making that very roar. Shen thought, is that her? Is she a gorilla barbarian? How did she become human? Besides, a girl. He slowly approached the victim of the spider. She used to be so big, why is she so cute now? And the wound on his chest has not healed. With these words, he looked at the girl's chest. Noticing the dragon, she muttered, "It's you, what are you doing here?" Shen was surprised. She not only became a human being, but also knows how to speak humanly. Maybe the barbarian gorilla turned into a spirit and then became a little fairy? Said the dragon with a grin. In the next moment, the girl looked with horror behind the dragon's back and screamed, "Careful, turn around." It turns out that all this time hundreds of bright green eyes were watching the dragon. Turning over his head, he saw a huge passage and several dozen lizard-like creatures crossed with spiders who were already crawling towards him with their tongues out. "I've turned into a human being. Why didn't you come earlier?" the girl screamed. A green lizard fell from the ceiling and flew at the dragon. "And how do you have such confidence?" The dragon easily caught the lizard. It turned out to be the size of his palm. Ding dong. A dead rotten reptile has the ancestry of the ancient monster, Xiang Liu. It is 1060 meters long and weighs 3600 tons. They live in groups, can spray caustic poison. At that moment, the little gecko was about to bite Shen. "Just try it." With these words, Shen clenched his fist in which there was a reptile so that the latter's head exploded like a balloon and green slime splattered on his hand. "Damn, that's rubbish." The geckos surrounded the dragon and were clearly plotting a group attack. While one bent down on the dragon, the other climbed on his back on the thorns and wanted to taste them, but only lost all the teeth in his mouth. The thick armor ability was paying off. In a few moments, the dragon was almost completely covered with green lizards. Shen thought it was time to teach them a lesson, and his body lit up with a bright blue color, after which the spikes on his back grew sharply and stuck out in all directions, like a hedgehog. Everyone who was on his body instantly fell to the ground without a drop of life. The girl who was watching this couldn't believe her eyes. Oh shit, now the whole body is covered in mucus. An abomination. The remaining geckos desperately tried to eat their remaining hostage victim, but the dragon easily crushed this attempt. Realizing that they could not overcome, the reptiles fled, but Shen only sneered contemptuously, "Did I allow you to leave?" Concentrating the energy in his body, the room filled with bright blue, and the dragon shot out his death ray. All the geckos were fried to a crisp. Satisfied, the dragon turned to his hostage and happily said, "Don't be afraid, little sister, no monster will harm you." It seemed that one could notice how the great cheeks of the dragon were filled with blush. Shen easily freed the girl with his sharp claws, and only now his gaze fell on the beautiful chest of this lady, on which there was a scar from their last fight. Ahem ahem. "Well, I'm curious, how did you eventually become a man?" The girl, having freed herself, began to look for something in the cave. It turned out that the subject of the search was a huge bone, the size of a girl. Is she looking for a weapon? Shen thought, and wanted to explain that he does not intimidate the weak, but suddenly the girl broke a bone on a stone. In her hand she held a small rounded thing similar to a fruit or a vegetable, only already bitten and rotten. With gestures, the girl tried to explain. "Eat this and change." Shen wondered, "Did you become human after you ate this? Oh my god, is this the same devil fruit?" A werewolf fruit from fantasy novels? Now you will witness a miracle. With these words, Shen used a lightened fire and lit a bonfire. The girl was clearly impressed. After that, he began to fry the dead bodies of reptiles. He previously tasted them raw, and the taste, to put it mildly, was not very good. Although he understood that no matter how nasty the food was, he had to get evolution points by his favorite methods, and still decided to try to cook reptiles. Oh, it's quite another thing, it smells delicious. While saying this, the dragon handed over one reptile to the mandarin and the monkey girl. Yummy. The girl looked at this huge piece of juicy meat with loving eyes, after which she began to devour it. Shen was also enjoying his lunch, but he was still worried about one question. Can a girl turn back into a gorilla? To which the girl nodded her head negatively. To become I can no longer transform. Shen thought about it, but the jungle is full of monsters, she won't live to see tomorrow. Does she have a family? Memories of the time spent with his father came flooding back to him. And he decided. The system, and can you bring it back? Ding dong. Of course I can. I have whole scientific algorithms in me, but first I have to analyze the composition of the fruit. Then I will be able to change its composition, and after eating it, it will turn back, and moreover, it will be able to transform from a gorilla into a human and back again. Great, then let's look for a fruit. Shen even thought that if everything succeeds, he will be able to transform into a human and even return to the human world, and even see his parents. It turned out that the monkey remembered where she picked this fruit, so Shen decided that after the meal they would go there, and he would help her turn back. Ding dong. You have received 625 evolution points for the dead rotten reptile. Congratulations on eating a dead rotten reptile for the first time, you have received a reward of 20,000 evolution points. Shen thought, even if I'm not on Earth, it means I'm in a parallel world. And if so, at least I can become a human and live happily ever after with a monkey on a desert island. A dream. A few hours later. Walking on the ground strewn with a pile of human skeletons and bones, the dragon wondered what happened here, but his thoughts were interrupted by a monkey who pointed to the top of the cliff, where the same tree with fruits grew. If you looked closely, you could see the fruit itself. It looks like a mushroom, but with all its appearance it clearly indicated that it was not the best idea. It's easy, I'm going to get up and pick a few. Climbing the cliff is already a familiar occupation for Shen, and yet he climbed quite slowly and carefully, when suddenly he saw a pterosaur that was diving from a height. The dragon was already beginning to think about battle tactics when the pterosaur grabbed one of the fruits, plucked it and swallowed it. At the same moment, his body seemed to be paralyzed, and a man with a mohawk flew out of the fog that appeared. He flew straight into the ground at an incredible speed. Well, this explains the presence of skeletons on Earth, Shen thought. And without a second thought, he climbed further. It was necessary to pluck the fruit as soon as possible and get out of this sinister place. Raising his head for another leap forward, he collided with something. And it was looking right at him. Ding dong. The bird of death. A mysterious and big bird. Has the bloodline of the ancient beast god Yukan. Height 65 meters. Weight 130 tons. Usually her appearance is always accompanied by death. The system informed the dragon hanging on the rock. Shen made the assumption that the bird is the guardian of the tree. The bird looked down, but it didn't seem like it was going to attack. Hello bird, my girlfriend said that this fruit is very tasty, so I'll take two, and I won't distract you, bye bye. With these words and a smile, the dragon pulled his paw to the fruit. But as soon as he did this, the bird went berserk, she fell off the cliff, and rushed at the dragon. Fortunately, at the last moment, Shen managed to dodge and grab onto the cliff to the left. Hurriedly picking the fruit, Shen thought about how to fight back, and that it would be nice to pass the fruit to someone. The system. Can you analyze these two fruits? Ding dong. Of course, the system took the fruit and added, it requires 100,000 evolution points for analysis, you have 93,000, the analysis is refused. Damn, if I knew about it I wouldn't spend points, well, there's nothing to do. Meanwhile, The bird flew up and struck the dragon's back with its claws, right in the place unprotected by thorns. Shen fought off this attack with a flick of his tail. The bird moved away, and she clearly did not like the next one. She noticed how the energy was filling the dragon. Now we're going to have a fried bird. Shen fired his explosive breath, but completely forgot about the recoil, which caused him to experience a slight weakness and pain in his body. Still, the blow touched the bird a little, part of her plumage burned, and it rushed down. But it wasn't enough. We need to do this. Hit her with explosive breath and fly up. That was the plan. The falling bird had already regrouped and was rushing at the dragon with might and main. But Shen understood, here was his chance. Taking advantage of the fact that the bird was from below, he jumped off the cliff and fell with all his weight on the bird. Now he was sitting on her back. Get it? A powerful bite in the neck clearly did not like the bird. But she didn't give up. The dragon-ridden bird was rushing to the ground, performing various pirouettes in the air, trying to throw off the rider. At breakneck speed, they flew like this for a while until the bird got tired of it and it soared into the sky. Wow, I didn't think it was so beautiful. In my previous life, I did not fly on airplanes. Who would have thought that I would see this in this life? Shen thought, but there was no time to dream. The bird again rushed to the ground, gaining speed. It looks like her goal was to crash into a rock at great speed. What madness, thought Shen, grasping the flyer's plumage tighter. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get a lot of assets so that the third part comes out. All bye.